Hi y'all, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com. Today I am here to introduce you to the Trimazing Wallet. This is a project that I made with the ladies of AMC 7. AMC is my masterclass. It stands for Andrea's Masterclass. That also happens to be my initials for my full name, so that's kind of cool. We worked on a collaborative design, and this is what is known as the Trimazing Wallet. I have a tutorial PDF document with step-by-step instructions on how you can craft one that looks exactly like this one here. Today I am going to show you some hacks for the pattern and some possibilities if you would like to try and simplify the process even more. What I'm going to show you today will be easier for the new sewer, but it will definitely give you an idea if you'd like to invest in this pattern, which I'll link to down below. The pattern has all the pattern pieces and step-by-step instructions, okay? So I'm really excited to show you how this wallet comes together, and I just want to say I'm so proud of the ladies of AMC. They worked on this project for a very long time, and there were multiple prototypes, and I'm just thrilled with the design. I want to show you some of the features. So it has a snap flap closure. You could incorporate a press lock or a twist lock, a magnetic snap. The choice is yours. It has the longer crossbody strap with the swivel fobs, and then it also has a wristlet strap. I like to use it most of the time with the wristlet strap, and then I just tuck the crossbody strap in this front pocket here. And then inside we have a zipper pocket there for coins or valuables. Your cell phone will fit in between here. There's a little divider. And then on the opposite side, there are card slips there. And then up here in the flap, there is an ID pocket there with the side load. And again, that all closes up with the snap closure there. Finish, the wallet is approximately 8 inches tall by 4 1/4 inches. So it's a good size, but it is definitely smaller than most crossbody bags, but a little bit larger than most wallets there. And this is the hack version that I'm going to show you today, which includes the addition of a translucent ID pocket and then also the original ID pocket there. And I'm going to show you a way that you can use the Pellon 70 and insert the interfacing after you've turned the project, so that makes it a little bit more manageable to turn, and it might be an easier method for those of you that do not have heavy duty machines, okay? So I suspect each time I make this wallet, I will come up with additional ways to modify it. So periodically we'll revisit this project, and I encourage you to share your modifications in the comments for people who in the future would like to sew it. All right, so shall we get started? So basically this design has 2 master panels: an exterior master panel, which is a long cut of fabric that is 5 inches by 21 inches. And on that exterior master panel is one front pocket, and then there is an interior master panel which has the zipper pocket and then the ID pocket and your card cascade. So I have modified that interior panel just a bit here. I followed the pattern instructions, and I included the slip pocket for the ID, and then on top of that, I stitched a piece of pink vinyl there so that I could put a second card in there, or perhaps slip like the grocery list or some kind of affirmation or reminder. And so I followed the pattern instructions to craft the ID pocket, and before I attached that to this interior master panel, I stitched on the vinyl pocket, which was just slightly smaller. And so this pocket here is positioned 2 inches down from the edge of your interior panel, and then the zipper pocket is positioned 1 inch down from that interior master panel, which is also 5 by 21 inches. Now the card cascade goes in the center of that interior master panel, and those cards will face up towards the ID pocket, so away from the zipper there. And in the pattern, we also backed this card cascade with a lighter non-woven interfacing, which then added even more layers, and again did make it challenging, not impossible by any means, because I've crafted a lot of these and I really like them, but it did increase the challenge of turning the project around. And so what I want to show you today is, if you do not interface your card cascade, and this, by the way, is also a 5 by 21 inch piece of material, and instead use the quilt weight cotton and just press over the 2 short ends, and then you'll have to get a card to measure, but you're basically just folding up those layers, creating your little cascade there. I can get 3 pockets out of mine. Some of the ladies who were absolutely precise with their measurements and like the cards to stick out a little bit more got 4 pockets from there. So customize it to suit your needs, but I like to have a little bit of extra fabric at the top and the bottom so that I can add 2 rows of stitching. So first you're going to fold up your card cascade, and then using Pellon 70, which is a non-woven, non-fusible, heavier interfacing, but it's still really light and it can bend, but you see it doesn't really crease. I cut out a little piece of that to fit along the back of this card cascade, and I made it so that I could tuck it up under those folded edges, and I cut it shorter than the seam allowance, so it's 4.5 inches wide there, and I just tuck that up in there. And then what that does is give that card cascade some stability, but it's going to be easier for me to turn than 6+ layers of that lighter interfacing. So that could present a challenge for some of you without the heavyweight machine. So just cut a backing of the Pellon 70, and then what I like to do is go ahead and stitch a 1/2 inch from each side. So I do want to come in and secure that Pellon 70 and then all of the little folds of the pocket. So I'm just stitching down that right hand side, and then I want to stitch down the left hand side. Same thing, a 1/2 inch from the edge. And then get back And then that's what my card cascade looks like. I got 1, 2, 3 card pockets there, and it's nice and rigid so it will support the contents. And then that card cascade is positioned 2 inches from the base of this zipper pocket here, which is 1 inch from the side. And these measurements are very important because of the way that this wallet folds up. And so I'm just going to measure 2 inches from the base of that zipper pocket, and then I'm going to stitch across the base of that card cascade to attach it to this interior master panel, which is not interfaced, and it is just the quilt weight cotton that I'm using. So now my interior master panel has the zipper pocket, the card cascade, and the ID pocket. And my exterior master panel just has the 1 slip pocket. Now this wallet has these little accordion sides. So in the PDF, we attach the accordion sides and the center divider, and everything is in between these 2 master panels, and then you have to try and turn that all the way around. It did occur to a couple of us that you could attach the opposite side of the accordion side and that center divider after you had already turned it around, and that would in fact be much easier. So I want to demonstrate that for you today. And so the side accordion panels are basically little pillowcase panels there that were sewed down 3 sides and then turned around. And so you want to take 2 of those, press in a center line in that, and then take the raw edges and position those with the edge of that interior zipper pocket. And you're going to need to fold in that finished edge just a bit because we don't want it to be captured in those layers. And I will hold this up for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So I have taken the raw edge and aligned it just below the zipper here on the zipper pocket, and then the finished edge is towards the center of that panel, but we don't want to stitch in that. So I'm going to roll that finished edge up and clip that. And then I do want to run a row of stitching down those little accordion dividers along the raw edge, just very narrow, 1/4 inch. Okay, so now my accordion dividers have been attached along the raw edge to that zipper pocket on the interior. My interior master panel is now complete, and I have the ID card pocket, the card cascade, and then the zipper pocket on that. And the exterior master panel just has the slip pocket. So the slip pocket goes face down on the same side as the zipper pocket. And I'm going to switch to pins versus the clips so that this fabric lays a little flatter for me. And now I want to position that exterior, which is also not interfaced. This is just a lightweight woven fabric. And so I'm going to position that right side's facing on top of that interior master panel. And I'm going to add a few clips to hold that nice and even. And so it's a master panel sandwich there. And so now I want to stitch down both long edges and then across the edge that has the ID pocket on it. So I'm going to begin down here with the pockets, and this is using 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I've stitched the long edges and then the short edge where the ID pocket is. The only interfacing that's in here is that little bit of Pellon 70 behind the card cascade. And so I should not have to trim any corners, but I do want to trim off the excess from this zipper here and the pockets just a bit, just coming in slightly and angling that there. And then I want to reach in and remove the pin that I put to hold those dividers so I don't accidentally poke myself. And now turning this should be much easier than it is with all of the Decoville and that center divider in there. And you just go nice and slow, and after you get it turned all the way around, go ahead and give it a good press. And your clear acrylic ruler works wonderful for poking out these corners. Just fit that right inside of there, and then gently poke out those corners at the end of this. And now you should have something that looks like this. And so you got your little accordion flaps there. The top near the zipper is still open, and then down here at the card slot is finished. So go ahead and press it nice and flat, and then turn these raw edges over just a smidgen, like 1/4 inch, and press that nice. Okay, so that's what that looks like when it's pressed, and I did fold over that open edge just a bit. Now I want to insert a 4" by 20" piece of the Pellon 70 down inside of this. Wiggle that down in there, and then just as soon as I can, grab that edge. I'm going to hold it, and then I will be able to pull this down over the top. Okay, so after you get your Pellon 70 in there, then the panels have a little bit more body to them, but they're still very manageable. And so I just gave that one more really good press. And now I want to go ahead and stitch that open edge where I turned that closed. And then where the credit card slip was, the top of that is still unstitched. I only attached the base of that card slip. And so now I want to go ahead and stitch across there. And the reason that I waited was so that I would have a stitch line to secure that pellon. And so the back side of this has that exterior pocket which opens towards the top there, and then the stitch line that secured the card pocket, and then on the inside the zipper pocket, the little accordion flaps, the card slips are opposite of that, and then the double ID pocket is towards the top. So what we want to do next is, in the pattern it calls for a center interior divider, which is also sewn just like the pillowcase styling and turned right side out, and then you tuck in that top edge where you turned it. Inside of this I have also inserted a slightly smaller piece of that Pellon 70, and so this little divider is going to get sandwiched in between that center layer on one of those accordions. And so I like to align the bottom of the accordion with the bottom of that divider, and so the top of the divider should be pretty level with the top of your zipper pocket there, and you can clip that in place and then repeat the process for the opposite side. And this is why we pressed in those center stitch lines, so that we can make sure we're getting the same amount of fabric in that fold. And so that's what that looks like. And so the center divider then is going to get attached to the center of these accordion folds. And so I'm just going to put that all up on the machine. Now in the pattern it calls for attaching all of this before you sandwich the panels together. So you can imagine the difficulty turning that. It's totally doable because I did it and several other people did it. It's just I could see how that would be frustrating for somebody who was new to sewing, which is why I'm calling this the Trimazing Wallet Hacks instead of the Trimazing Wallet tutorial, because the PDF is step-by-step instructions. This is just some cheats for you, so you have some more options when you're making it. So using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm going to stitch down the distance of that fold. And then I reinforced at the top of the accordion with a back stitch, but I did run my stitching all the way up just so that it looks nice. And I'm going to do the same thing on this opposite side. Okay, and so now you will have something that looks like this. So the zipper pocket's here, and you have your center divider there, and then you have 2 more finished edges here on that accordion fold, and so those get aligned with the edge of your card pockets, and you just bring those up so that they align nice. And then you can clip those in place so that you can sew both of them at the same time. And now you can really see this wallet starting to take shape here. This is the part where I think it gets fun. Now the next step is for me to stitch from the top to the bottom through the exterior, the interior, and then those card slips. So here's what the wallet looks like now. You can really see it taking shape. So you want to level out that flap there, and there should be about 3/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch there at the top where you can fold that over and stitch, and you will not stitch through that ID card pocket. So determine what that is there, and if you like, give it a second press there to flatten it out. And then you're going to insert this little strap with 2 tiny D-rings up in there and fold that flap back over. And these little D-rings are going to be what you attach your strap to. So I think it's easier to go ahead and put that strap in and then stitch through it. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm just, again, stitching through the flap and the back of the flap and the strap. Now you can go ahead and install the snap, and the snap just goes in the top of that flap, and then reach inside the pocket to position the second piece there. You could also attach a press lock to that, and then your little wristlet strap with the fob can go on either side. If you wanted to craft a longer strap and put on 2 swivel fobs, you could do that as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and install my snap so you can see how that hardware adds that additional bit of flair. Okay, so I have my wallet complete. I installed the snap there on the flap and then the pocket there, so it hides that hardware. And then right inside I have my little zipper pocket there, and then a divider. And then on the opposite side I have my card slip. And then up top here, I have a translucent ID pocket, and then a second pocket on the opposite side there if I wanted to put something in there, and the little wristlet strap, which I could attach on either side. I also have the option of adding a crossbody strap if I like. So using the woven fabric on the exterior and the Pellon 70 gave me a nice substantial wallet, which when I compare it side by side to the one that just has the quilt weight cotton and the Decoville, it's a little bit more puffier. And so I'm not sure if that's because of the woven fabric. I actually do like its substantial feel there, and I didn't have any problems sewing, so that was good. I guess it just really depends upon your machine and the look you're going for. The Decoville definitely gives it like a flatter appearance, and it is more rigid. This one, I like them both. I think it just depends upon your machine and your needs. So I will put the link to the PDF down below. So I hope you all have an awesome Tuesday. I will be back next week with another tutorial. We are going to be working from my ultimate zip top diaper bag tutorial, and we are going to make a zippered purse. It is a really nice size. It's a big everyday handbag. It also makes an awesome diaper bag, but I am going to use mine as a purse. I am excited to work through that pattern with you. I think it will take us at least 2 weeks because that is a really nice bag that has lots of pockets and lots of details. So if you'd like to go ahead and grab that pattern early so you could get your supplies and get your fabric cut out, I'm going to go ahead and link to that down below too. And then everybody else can join us the next 2 weeks, and you'll see how to put that together step by step. Okay? So thank you all for joining me. I hope you have an awesome Tuesday. And as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Thank you for sewing with me.